Anyway, by the end of the weekend, I said to Master, I said, I know how we're going to collaborate. I've figured it out. And typical Master throwing people in the deep end to help them grow. He said, okay, get on stage. Pitch it to me.
Pitch it to me.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Pitch it to me in front of a whole room. So
Wow.
I was obviously shaking. You thought I was vibrating. I was just shaking, right? Terrified, but
Wow.
just thought, I've got to take this opportunity.
You think you were terrified?
I think, Lucy, for the people watching at home right now, they're probably thinking, what is it? What's going on? Because obviously we know what it is. So
Right.
maybe
Okay, I'll break the suspense.
Yeah.
So basically, I got up on stage and I asked Master a question. I said, Master, when you're teaching a room full of people, all of the skills that they need to be able to actually build a successful business. You know, maybe there's lots of people in the world who have great business ideas, but they don't have any of the knowledge of how to actually build one. And now this is not just to do with business. This is to do with the fact that the majority of us, a lot of us, we developed a fear of failure. I think it's fair to say. School kind of teaches you that when you fail, you get a big red cross, right?
Yeah.
And so it kind of subconsciously developed this belief in our brains that failure is bad. And that's just one of an uncountable number of limiting beliefs, which most of us pick up during our school years, so that by the time we're adults, we are unfortunately programmed with all sorts of limiting beliefs and self-doubt and not enough knowledge on how to actually manage money, or, you know, we never get taught how to build business at school, do we? So I asked Master a question. I said, what's the hardest thing for you here as the lead trainer? Is it hardest to get this room of people to learn the key things they need to succeed? Or is it harder
Get rid
to
of all
get
the
them
BS
to-
that's in there. Yeah.
to get them to unlearn all of the BS, right? And so he can finish my sentences still. Obviously, the answer is the hardest part is to unlearn.
Right.
So then after that, when I sort of like flowed into this 40-minute pitch or whatever, but the short version of it was that this vision came out of what if we could
The next
impact
generation, yeah.
a younger generation before they develop
Yep.
the limiting beliefs, the things that the majority of adults of our generation and beyond,
Yeah.
you know, imagine if there was just never that obstacle.
Yeah.
How much faster could everything go? How many more businesses would succeed?
Yeah.
You know, what is it like at the moment? I think the statistics, something like
Like 90% fail. Or
90%
something,
of businesses fail. But that's just because 90% of people have never been taught anything about how to be successful.
Most of it is mindset. Yeah.
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 And I remember it finished like that.
Yeah.
And then I said, so what do you want? She said, I don't know what I want. And I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll give.
It was a
And
great
was
pitch.
it
I
was
don't know.
It was an interesting thing. At the end, it didn't even need the numbers or anything. And I never offered anything like this before. And the context of it is basically, I think I said something on the lines of, I'll just invest whatever it needs to make this happen. And
Yeah.
you just take a percentage of the company. I said, deal or no deal?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And I
right.
was just like, and then when I said that, I was also thinking, why on earth did I say that?
Yeah.
How much does that mean?
Yeah,
Invest
but-
whatever you need. You know, I said, that's not a business proposition at all. And, you know, but anyway, everything was in the flow of the energies. And
Yeah.
I guess
Clearly.
there's this saying that says, man makes plans and God has his plans, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what the beauty is, I guess, with kids, is that there's not much to unlearn there because they're fresh vessels ready to go, right?
Well, I mean, scientifically, all the way up until the age of 7 years old, we're just in a permanent download phase.
Yep.
So, you know how maybe if an adult wants to reprogram their brain, rewrite their belief system so that maybe they stop having a broke mindset and then they start having a more abundance mindset, or, you know, if they've spent years believing that they're not worthy, it can take a lot for an adult to tap into their subconscious to really reprogram their mind. Whereas when all the way up until the age of 7 years old, a child is downloading everything to develop that foundation of its subconscious beliefs.
Yeah.
So again, there's far fewer obstacles. And it is quite shocking when you actually think about it that way, that in the first 7 years of the
It
average
determines
child's life,
the rest of your life.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
scary in itself,
Yeah.
or incredibly empowering. That's why we've created a program where it really actually instills all of the most empowering success mindset formulas for young people. Now, really, the approach for adults and the approach for children, what children need is the same as what adults need, but obviously the approach and the
Explain
language is
differently.
different.
Yeah.
And although it sounds kind of easy to talk about
Yeah,
rainbows and
everything
just dance with them
with-
and stuff, when I've heard Bridget talk about the things that she's done in case studies already with children, I was
Yeah.
thinking, I'm glad she's doing that because, you know, I haven't had any children yet, but I feel like that's going to be one of the biggest responsibilities of my life.
Yeah.
And no one gets a parenting rule book.
Yeah.
No one gets a course on, well, I suppose you could, but it's not obligatory to take a course to understand how to be a parent.
Yeah.
And yet it's one of the things that almost everybody can do.
From hearing what you guys are talking about here, there's a lot of people out there complaining about the educational system, and there's not very many people out there doing many things about it, which I think this is beautiful to see. Some leaders putting things into place and working along with the collaborative forces to make that happen, because I don't know, every event that you go to, every event that we run, like you ask people, what's your goal? To change the educational system. It's like, but nobody's actually doing anything about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And you guys-
It's a tough job actually.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I like to think that there's enough parents out there who are, you know, they've been waiting for this for years.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
when
a
I
lot.
pitched it
I think
to
this
you on
audience
stage,
will be
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I pitched it to you on stage, essentially everyone in that room was the type of person who probably follows you on YouTube also.
Yeah.
So
And all the parents in the room was already like, I
Open-minded.
want to send my kids.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were all ready to sign up
Yeah.
straight away because they'd just been waiting for years. It was like basically when we describe it as I downloaded this idea, what happened was I think I picked up on all
Everyone's
of the
vibrations, yeah.
exactly everyone's vibrations, and I just happened to be the person who could. I was the
Translate it.
mouthpiece.
Channelize.
You were
Yeah.
translating what they were saying. mentally,
Externalize.
Yeah. Oh, we see this program as breaking some serious family
Yeah.
curses.
Yeah.
You know, because generation after generation after generation, as I said, there's no rule book.
Yep.
The usual rule book that people, you know, draw from is what their parents did and what their parents did and what their parents did. And the same is with the school system. The schooling system hasn't changed that much since the 1950s, which was influenced by the Victorian times. So, I mean, okay, now there's a bit more coding and maybe a little bit of mindfulness at
Yeah.
school, but really, like, the whole core structure
Yeah.
to the education system is very outdated.
Yeah.
And now, you know, we are a very positive bunch of people. We don't like to just complain about the way the world is. Our mindset is out of every negative thing, we're very solution focused. So we just thought, okay, let's create a positive out of that.
Yeah.
So anything that we've ever experienced, I've been bullied. I've been picked on, laughed at for being myself,
Yeah.
which was, oh, you're weird, you're different, you're this, you're that. And so as a result of all of those experiences, I, during my teenage years, started to think, I can't be myself. I need to, you know, withdraw back or change myself so that I'm liked by people and all of these kinds of things. So Bridger and I, we've been discussing in the creation of this program, what are all the painful experiences that we had as children? What about those times when your parents were screaming and shouting, and as a child, you don't know how to handle that situation? What happens if you get stressed with exams because children are being put under those pressures at younger and younger ages? Now, a lot of those things we can't change. But what we can do is we can teach these young people the skills that they need to be able to instantly find inner peace when they're under pressure in the exam situation, or know how to handle a situation if there is some sort of chaos in the home environment. To understand that who they are in their authentic form is the most superpower that they could ever have, and to change that is something they should never do for anybody. And to understand that if a bully is bullying them, it's not about them, it's about what that bully is going through themselves. So any pain that we've ever been through, and we've been asking all sorts of people, and from that we've created this program where we're basically giving, how can I say, it's like we're filling in all of the gaps that have been missing from an education structure, which there's some good to it, of course. There's some core things which are great. So instead of saying we should throw the whole thing away, and that's unrealistic for most people, we've said, okay, how can we enhance a child's development so that they never go through half as much pain, and so that by the time they reach adulthood, they already know, they believe in themselves, they've got an unlimited vision of their potential, they know how to concentrate, they know how to handle pressure, all of the things that don't get taught typically at school. We wanted to be able to fill in all of those gaps. And Bella was saying when we were sharing this with her, she said, this is really going to change the world.
Yeah.